Welcome to section 3. In this section, we're going to be talking about the Vue.js core concepts and all the main components that make up Vue.js. So before we get into any coding, let's talk about the project directory and the structure of our application. So this package.json file here is basically your application configuration. You have your app name and you have the various scripts that you can run with npm. And it also gives you all your dependencies and all the different versions that you've installed. This README file is basically the repository homepage, you could call it. This is what you'll see in GitHub if you push your application to a repository. This Babel config file is for Webpack. It basically sets the presets that's used for compiling your application with Webpack. The .git ignore file is for all the files that you want to be ignored when you commit to Git. So all the files and directories listed in this file will be ignored and will not be uploaded. So inside your source folder, you have all your main Vue.js files. Assets is where you'll keep all of your images, style sheets, or any scripts that you may have, things like that. Components, you can think of components as sort of reusable Vue.js components that you can use throughout your application. And it comes with this Hello World Vue.js component. And you can see a Vue.js component is basically HTML wrapped in template tags. And then at the bottom, you'll see this script. And this basically exports the class with some data. And then you can also add inline style sheets at the bottom. You can think of views as sort of the pages or the sections of your website. And then your app.vue file is basically your main Vue file. This brings in the main view of your application, and this is where all of that will be held. And then your main.js file is sort of the config. You have your router, your store, and then you'll see here it mounted into a ID element of app, which was in that previous file that we saw. Then you have the router config. As you can see, Vue.js ships with a couple of routes already configured. Then you have your store, which is used for state management throughout your application, and we'll be using that later.